Welcome back. Today's topic is bearer shares. Bearer shares are physical certificate of shares of a company, which are not listed on any share register or public register. The physical certificates are either signed by the chairman of the board or sole director, in case of an offshore company. The ownership rests with the person who has physical possession of the share certificate at a particular point in time. The bearer share certificate will state that the holder or bearer of the certificate is the legal owner of the share. The purpose of bearer shares was easy mobilization and keeping the owner of the certificate anonymous. In order to receive dividends, holders of bearer shares must send the company a voucher claiming the dividends to which they are entitled. Bearer shares have almost been banned by major countries of the world. However, bearer shares are still allowed in certain jurisdictions. But, with the condition that they have to be held by a custodian bank, with all owners' details kept with the bank. Such share certificates are called immobilized bearer shares. Going ahead, let us learn some of the country-specific bearer share details as given below. In the United States, bearer shares are mostly an issue of state governance, and they are not traditionally endorsed in many jurisdictions' corporate laws. Delaware became the first state in the U.S. to ban by statute the sale of bearer shares in 2002. Some offshore jurisdictions have also banned bearer shares, including Jersey, the Bahamas, Isle of Man, and Mauritius. However, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines one can deposit immobilized shares in a local bank. A Belize International Business Corporation or IBC can be registered with bearer shares. However, the bearer share certificates of a Belize IBC would have to remain in custody with the registered agent, who would also need to know who are the actual owners of the bearer shares. Therefore, the usability of bearer shares in Belize IBC is somewhat limited. Bearer shares issued by a BVI company and not placed into custodianship will be disabled, meaning that the bearer shares will cease to carry any of the rights and entitlements which it would otherwise carry. Panama is moving towards immobilization. Until recently, the Marshall Islands was the only left country in the world where the bearer shares could be issued and used. However, here also, after legislation changes, bearer share companies must now take all reasonable steps to maintain up-to-date records of all shareholders and beneficial owners. But, they are not required to be kept in bank. Bearer shares in a Marshall Islands company records must be filed or kept with the corporation's registered agent in the Registrar of Marshall Islands. To conclude, it is still possible to incorporate a private tax-free company with bearer shares, however it's becoming increasingly harder to open bank accounts for bearer share companies. However, individuals still have a chance to keep their names anonymous by floating an offshore company and hold shares in form of nominee shareholders, who are given a small commission to hold these shares. Hope the future legislations will work towards curbing this too. Further, bearer shares have been reasons for worry as they can be easily used by wealthy individuals to cover up their taxes, or used by money launderers to launder money or terrorists for financing their activities. That's all for today. Thank you. Hope you all now have a fair idea about bearer shares and you may now apply this knowledge to your day-to-day work. Have a nice day ahead. Stay tuned.